Hello, everyone. Today is November 5th, 2020. We're 2 days after the U.S., I'm going to say election for lack of a better descriptor right now. And I just wanted to touch base with everybody and just share some ideas about what's happening and what we can do to maintain our balance. My name is Sandy Glaze. Welcome back to my channel. I ask that if you're interested in seeing more of these videos that you hit the subscribe button at the bottom and the notification bell. And I'm going to try to be more consistent out here and sharing ideas to help us get through these troubling times. I know people have been pretty worked up recently about what's been happening, and I'm of the belief that we are really going to start going into the troubling times right about this time. So we are definitely being moved along a script that was written out for humanity to play out for maybe a dark agenda. And what we are witnessing instead is the beauty of the corruption and this false system. All of the corruption is coming to light. We're starting to see it unravel. And not only are we seeing it unravel, we're seeing how it is designed in the first place to work against the people. So how did humanity get steered off course so bad? And the industries in particular that I'm going to pick out and focus on are the advertising industry, media, the political process, the judicial system, the education system, the indoctrination system that we have all been part of. If you went through public education, you're part of that system regardless of your age. We might have gone through different things through different generations, but it was all part to kick us down the road to where we are right now. I look at the medical mafia. My goodness, with COVID, you can't find two people who agree on anything. I look at the regulatory bodies who are keeping everybody so constricted they can't move. All of these industries play a role in keeping and suppressing humanity, and it's really important that they come to light now as we're watching even the ballots being hijacked. We're watching so much unfold that we're seeing how everybody works together in these dark agendas. So I want to touch base on the people who are looking for a more loving, harmonious society. They're looking for justice, fairness. They're looking for prosperity for everyone. I'm included in that group. We are partly responsible for the changes that are happening too. Because when you want something so bad and you want to see good things happen in the world, sometimes you have to let things fall apart for the new to come in. We know this on the individual level, we know this on a collective level, and this is what we're witnessing right now. So we are contributing in the good things that are happening by wanting something that's better for everybody. So maybe freedom is important to you. Maybe the freedom to choose to do what's right for you is important to you. All of these mindsets are making a difference in what is happening. And this is the mindset that's bringing about the change, but it's also the heart set where we come from, why we want these changes to happen. Do we want to just go back to the old values because that's all we know? Or do we want something that's going to work for everybody moving forward? Perhaps living in a world where a circle of care is reestablished in our society. So the people who are put in positions of responsibility, and I'm going to call it responsibility, do the right thing, and they can discern what the right thing is, and they do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and not because there's an alternative agenda either nipping at their heels, trying to blackmail them, trying to bribe them, trying to threaten them, that whole system is exposed and falls away. So continue to help the process by wanting a world that's better for everybody. Continue to help the process by saying we no longer accept the corruption. And it's going to take longer than we thought to clean out because it runs deeper than we thought. And that's just what it is. So I'm not too worried about it. So I was going to ask, what do you want? And I ask this in my own personal practice with my clients, what do you want? And a lot of people don't know what they want because they haven't really been encouraged to focus on it, for one, but two, they don't know what's available. So I ask, what do you want? And I ask, what is available to you that you know of? What are the technologies that are available that have been hidden from us? What is the energy, free energy that's been hidden from us? What are the medical devices that have been hidden from us? What is the truth about our history, our humanity that's been kept from us? What do we want to experience in our lives going forward? And not just creating the same old. And I know I harp on this one a little bit, but it is so important if we're going to use our imagination to bring in the good, that we understand what's possible. And I say the sky's the limit. It's not limited to just that. I don't know what's all available, but I'm open to being surprised. And one group of practitioners have used something that says, give me the best today, or even better, whatever it is that you can bring in for me when you're saying your prayers, when you're talking to the universe, talking to God, talking to Creator. Show me this or something better. So keep your optimism up when you're starting to ask for things that you want to see in the world. So in the past, there was a saying that crap used to float to the top. And we're seeing that now. That's not the case. Immorality floated to the top. Those who are willing to do dark deeds and cover up for the corruption and the Luciferian agenda, those are the ones who got promoted in the top. And what I think is happening is we're starting to see that is the process. So if somebody gets promoted because they're a butt kiss, yeah, that was maybe the way it used to be, but that's not going to be the way it is anymore. And what I do think is happening, the dark agenda has written the script for us up until this point, but now the people are writing their own script. They're the ones who are realizing we create our own narrative. We're the ones who decide what it is we want based on our morality, our integrity, our expectations, our respect, our values. And it doesn't have to be based on a program of religion, education, cultural or societal. I know I've talked about that before. So what I'm going to ask, can you stay and remain or become excited and hopeful about what we are experiencing right now? Can you still see that the darkness has to fall away while we're in the eye of the storm, watching all of this crazy making happening around us? Can we stay centered? Can we stay in the observer position and watch what's going on without reacting to it, without letting letting the dark energies feed off the fear that we are being spoon-fed almost on an hourly basis? It's hitting us everywhere, like the newspapers online. The narrative, the false narrative is just being pushed as far as they can, and they have no choice because they have no ground to stand on unless they can regain the darkness that keeps everybody stuck right now. So when we look at the shenanigans that have happened this week in the US election, Donald Trump has been saying this for months, that you can't have mail-in ballots. He's been saying it for months. He says you can't have an honest election based on that. So it's not like they didn't know this was going to happen. And I myself woke up on November 4th about 4 in the morning, and I checked my phone. And as I'm looking through this, I'm thinking, what is going on here? And I'm seeing it, but I couldn't believe it. And I watched for a little bit. I might have posted a few things, and then I went back to sleep, and I got up. And what I did was I just went by myself and did some errands for the morning till about 12, 1 o'clock, went out and had a nice lunch. It was an absolutely gorgeous day. So I went out to spend time in nature and just went for a walk, enjoyed the sunshine, enjoyed the trees, the smell of nature, and then did some more errands. And it took me probably 5, 6, 8 hours maybe before I could actually wanted to come back and even have a look at this. Why I'm sharing this is it's really important that we know that there's different ways to process information as it comes in that doesn't resonate with us. And I want to talk about other people that I saw posting online, and there's a lot of people that really were thrown off their center. Some people came back with a bit of anger, some people are fed up, some people are calling BS, some people are quiet. I chose to step away. That's when I tend to gain my strength. I step away, recycle, recircle, and then come back and then look at it. And that's what I did. And I came back maybe, I don't know, 5 o'clock, and then I could start talking to people and really see what's going on. But what is amazing about how people handled this is everybody kind of took the blow, and it was a blow. Nobody expected it to feel as, it was betrayal is what it was. That the system that we all think is supposed to be here for everybody's best interest betrayed the people in such a in-your-face way. But people handled it differently. Some people spent some time, they stepped away from it, they regrouped. You could see them refocusing their thoughts, their emotions, refocusing their energy. And what did they do? Started digging for truth again. So we might experience some of these blows moving forward in the next couple of months especially. And maybe it'll be longer. Maybe it'll be 6 months. Maybe it'll be a year. But the idea is that we have the skills and the tools to know how to process when something comes to us that we don't like, that we can observe it without reacting to it in a strong way, without feeding the fear energy, and coming back to our center. And the best way to do that sometimes is just to ask your body, be the higher self, and ask your body, breathe in. As you breathe in, bring your breath down just below your diaphragm, and exhale, and breathe in again, and bring your hands down to your abdomen where you process your emotions. You can rub it if you need to. Breathe in and breathe out, exhale. And start asking yourself, what are you feeling? Is it betrayal? It's okay to recognize it, because we have to feel the feelings that frighten us and leave us feeling down. And we have to say, it's okay, we've got this. Are you feeling anger? It's okay to feel angry. You don't get to do drive-by shootings on people. This isn't Antifa, but it's okay to feel angry, but you don't react to it. You just feel it. Maybe you have the right to be angry. Maybe you have the right to be betrayed. But the idea isn't that you sit in that energy, you experience it for as long as you need to say, this doesn't feel good. And then you bring in a more positive thought. So the more positive thoughts that I have out of this is nothing is going to stop what is coming. And we might get temporarily set back. That's up to us how long we sit in that. That is up to us whether we process it or not. It's up to us whether we react to it and make it somebody else's problem. Because no matter what happens, there are going to be some people who benefit from the old way. Maybe they have a practice that needs victims so that they want a corrupt society so that there always is a stream of revenue coming to them. Maybe there's some people who work in the medical facilities that they need patients to come in who can't handle, can't cope with what's going on in life. And it's not about a judgment. People have to make their own decisions about what kind of world they want to live in, what they're contributing to in this world as this more of this insanity comes to light. But the idea is that we can choose with our thoughts what we want to bring in. So what do you want to focus on? I realized the last couple of days I'm a big part of wanting the old system to fall away. It has to burn to the ground because it is so corrupt. There's no salvaging this system, and it doesn't mean there's not good people in the system. It's the system itself that is set up in such a way that it creates havoc, it creates chaos. It's the death care system. It's absolutely the opposite of helping people grow into their self-actualized self, into being their best self and developing skills that maybe they forgot they had or were present in a past life. So this is why the system has to change. And there's going to be many people who work in the system who are going to step into the light, and they're going to need the support, and they're going to say, no, we don't want a system that lobbies can go and approach governments anymore. The lobbying system, that's taken care of. They're maybe going to want a system that's looking for alternative healthcare. Maybe they're going to want universal healthcare, that everybody gets a $5,000 credit every year that they can go and use with different modalities of wellness. And within those modalities, they can submit it for the government. They can submit it almost like an OHIP, and they get compensated for it. So a lot of things have to change, which means the regulations come off. Trump is already doing that. So when I say I woke up, I'm just going to recap here. When I said I woke up with at about 4 a.m. on November 4th, I was watching a press release of Donald Trump at 2 o'clock, and he was saying, he referenced 4 o'clock, so he knew something was going to happen at 4 o'clock. And sure enough, all these miraculous hundreds of thousands of ballots all for one candidate show up. So he knew this was going to happen. And if we can see this, trust the plan, because we've been following this for quite some time. And if we think that nothing is happening, we're wrong. But it's not going to be a smooth ride. It's not going to be like we know exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be some turbulence in this ride. And know when it happens, find out what your go-to is. Do you need to draw? Do you need to write? Do you need to do art? Do you need to practice music? Do you need to be in nature? Do you need to get something done? Do you need to just get one thing done to get your head out of the looping of what's the insanity that's around us? And when we know how to do that, we know this is our go-to, make a list of all your favorite things and put it on the side of your fridge. So if you find you're overwhelmed, just go and look and go, oh yeah, I need to get back to my center. So the one thing about Donald Trump that I noticed on when he did his press release on November 4th at 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm going to compare some things, why we don't get it. So we talk about understanding our energetic self. And there's a visible spectrum of color that we all operate within that we can see. And this is why I think most people in the Western world aren't quite there yet. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And when you look at this in terms of color, doesn't matter what categories he puts what class of humanity, of humanness into the human aspect. That's just his opinion. So all it is an opinion. But when we look at the full spectrum of color, we see now that there's 2 more colors added. This is an incomplete spectrum of color, of visible light. This is the full spectrum of color in visible light. And what was interesting, the spiritual color is the color of Donald Trump's tie that night. So we're in a spiritual war. So there's many hints and clues out there helping us figure this out. And when we learn to start questioning things that are presented to us, we are reestablishing how to think, not what to think. what to think is indoctrination, how to think for ourselves. So as soon as I saw that, you just kind of smile and you know there are good things that are happening too. And there's people through the whole spectrum of our society. And when I say spectrum, I don't want to just go top and bottom. It's the whole spectrum who are here to do the good. But we have to be able to understand what we're up against. We have to understand that there's aspects of ourselves that have intentionally been kept away from us. And when we start to see what those are and see the aspects that are associated with that color and that energy, we can start to put more of ourselves together. So when we are using our mentalism, that's another topic for another day, and we're using our mental energy to create, we're doing it with a more whole picture of what it means to be human, what it means to be energetically, spiritually, and emotionally human. Yeah, we've got the physical stuff figured out to a degree, but there's much more to this. So I hope this helps just put some things in perspective and just to remind everybody, trust the plan. There's something here, but it's our job to wake up internally and externally at the same time, because the macro affects the micro and the micro affects the macro. There's no right or wrong, or there's no steps into this of how you have to do it. Everybody has different gifts, so you might be aligned with maybe your visual imagery, you might be aligned with knowing and can't explain why. Your intuition might be over the top, that you know things and can't explain it, and it doesn't matter how you go about it, but the idea is being able to bring yourself to your full spectrum of abilities. That's what I think we're here to do, or at least work towards that this lifetime. That's what I think we're here to do, and that is how we're going to out vibrate this negative, petty, corrupt, false, manipulative, lying, cheating energies that surround us. That's what I see anyways. So keep your shield up. If you're not sure how to create a shield for yourself, send me an email, sandy@endinggloballoneliness.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Sandy Glaze, Twitter, End in Loneliness. You can also visit my website, endinggloballoneliness.com, but we need to work on this together. And if you have any questions, by all means, just reach out to me somehow. I'd be happy to answer it. I also offer a 30-minute free consultation if you haven't experienced one yet. If you want to start to know and question whether you're on the right path, it's not up to me to tell you what's true for you. I show people how to find their own truth. We don't need more hierarchy. We don't need more gurus. I don't believe in that philosophy or that process. But I hope you found this helpful. Again, if you have, hit subscribe below, and I will try to send out more regular updates on how we stay centered and stay energetically in balance and in the right energy flow, that we understand where we get our information and our power from. And it's not from people around us, it's from our own personal connection. So be well, be happy, and know how to stay centered in these turbulent times, okay? Take good care. We'll see you soon. Bye.